Are you looking to win and capitalize, drafting the best rookies in your Dynasty League? Well, today you're in the right spot. We're looking for Dynasty Rookie Mock Draft. These are going to be 2 rounds of the best 24 rookies you should be drafting. This should help every single one of y'all out. If you want to see more than 2 rounds, let me know down in the comments. Make sure you guys smash the subscribe and like button. It really helps out the channel as we build who's here from the ground up. So we got 24 names today. You're on the clock, the 101. These rankings are good for PPR, half PPR, non-PPR is a little different. If you're in a Dynasty League, most likely it's going to be PPR at the very least, or sometimes half PPR, but it's fine either way. Now, these aren't going to be Superflex rankings. This is going to be a non-Superflex mock draft, but if you are in a Superflex league, because I am in a Superflex league myself, we will also address how the rankings would shift and how each pick would shift. So really, this will be good for Superflex and non-Superflex. You're on the clock, the 101. What do? Well, you shop the pick. Shop the pick. Always make sure, see what is somebody willing to offer. Now, let them come to you. That's my advice. Let them come to you. But the 101, it's a very easy consensus pick this year. If you're the 101, congrats. You're getting a damn good player. Ashton Jeanty is a 3-down back. He's got the true 3-down skill set. People don't really realize, yes, he had his 2,000 rushing yard season at Boise State, and he only had like 150 receiving yards last season, in his final collegiate season. But the year prior, when the rushing yards were a little bit lower, Buddy Boy had 600 receiving yards, guys. So he does have that receiving skill set as well. His projections, because we do have projections for all of these rookies now. Projections are in, which is it's always fun to look at. What do people think his first season is going to look like? They have him at 260 carries, 1,100 rushing yards. They have him at 9 rush TDs, 400 receiving yards, which is very good, 2 receiving touchdowns. They have him at 209 fantasy points. Now, I'm not sure if that's PPR or non-PPR for the actual points, but the stats have him looking pretty damn good. Again, he was the number 6 pick in the overall, number 6 pick in the draft. It reminds me of Jahmyr Gibbs, and we all know how valuable Jahmyr Gibbs is right now. Ashton Jeanty at pick number 1 is a no-brainer. Now, the next couple of picks right here, you're on the clock. If you have pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, you're getting a pretty damn good player, but I feel like pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, I don't really care which of these 3 players I'm getting. Now, pick number 2, I'm going to go ahead and say next best, we'll go with Omarion Hampton. Now, Omarion Hampton gets his name called by the Chargers in the draft. Now, he had, late day 1, early day, or round 1, round 2, whatever you want to call it. His projection, 831 rushing yards, so it's obviously a pretty big tier drop off from Jeanty. 831 rush yards projected and 277 receiving yards. So they do project that he will have that receiving role as well. The problem is, while Jeanty goes to the Raiders with no other running back in sight, Hampton joins the Chargers with Najee Harris as a pest. And Najee Harris, what if he gets injured? Najee has not missed a game in his entire career. So a little bit of a bummer right there, but I still think Hampton at the number 2. This guy's young. This guy's only 22 years old. And again, running backs like this have a pretty historically high hit rate, so you like him at number 2. Number 3, and this guy, again, number 3 and number 4 could be number 2 as well. It's up to you, depending on your positional need, team need. Ted McMillan. Ted McMillan has a very good prospect profile. Now, his draft combine wasn't necessarily the best, but he gets the landing spot. He goes to Carolina. Bryce Young looked good to finish out the year. And looking at his projection, man, Ted McMillan projects out to have 900 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. And I think 5 touchdowns might actually be a little bit low because he's a big body type guy and the Panthers might be looking for a red zone threat. So they have him at 4.7 receiving touchdowns projected. I think it could be a little bit higher. But in terms of prospect profile, the thing I like about McMillan is that he's up there with guys like Chase. He's up there with guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. He's up there with guys like Garrett Wilson. This guy, he should be good. Now, he went to, obviously, the rumors out of rookie camp is that he's going to be an immediate target, especially on the outside for Bryce Young, which is kind of what we expected. So as long as Bryce Young takes a step forward, this 22-year-old receiver, I expect big things. Big body receiver. At number 3, you're happy with him. Number 4, things get glitchy. Things get pretty glitchy here. You go with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter off the board at number 4. He went at number 2 overall to the Jaguars. Jaguars said, all right, you're going to be our receiver starting out, and we'll rotate you in on defense. So they want to try him out at wide receiver. We'll see how that goes. Now, this is kind of boom bust. Now, if you're in a league where you have defensive players like me, and you can have Travis Hunter in the defensive back slot, getting wide receiver points as well, he could be number 2 overall behind Jeanty. I still think Jeanty is better in that case, But I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between maybe Hunter's even number 1 in that role. But at wide receiver, he could have a Justin Jefferson, he could have a Jamar Chase type rookie season. He has that good of a prospect profile even at wide receiver. So the main concern here is how many snaps is he going to be getting on offense. That's why he's number 4 for me, behind Ted McMillan, behind Amarian Hampton. They have him projected for 928 receiving yards, so even more than Ted McMillan, and 5 receiving touchdowns. But that's assuming this guy is not a defensive back halfway through the season. Number 5, we got Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson got drafted in the 2nd round of the draft to challenge Mr. Ramondre Stevenson. His projection is 842 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. Again, the Patriots and running backs, you don't really think of any big names. You think of Antonio Gibson, you think of Ramondre Stevenson recently, right? So Sony Michel, but it's a new coaching staff. Mike Vrabel, who was he with? Derrick Henry. Travion Henderson, the thing I like about him is that he has the receiving profile that you would like to see, especially in a PPR format, which is why I have him going at number 5 over the guy in number 6. Number 6 is Quinshon Judkins. Now, both of these guys, we got Travion Henderson. Where's he at? Travion Henderson, I don't know where I put him. He's right here. So Travion Henderson is 22. Quinshon Judkins is 21. So Judkins is a little bit younger. Landing spot, the Browns. So the Browns take him, and they also take Dylan Sampson. Judkins, better rusher than Henderson. But the problem is the receiving role isn't going to be as high, which is why I have him at the 106 instead of pick number 5. They have him projected at 859 rush yards, 227 receiving yards. The Browns' offense has a lot of unknowns, a lot of young people, but I mean, they take Dylan Sampson. They still have Jerome Ford, who's going to be the best. Not the best landing spot, but Judkins still should be very good. I'm talking like top 10 running back right now in Dynasty redrafts. Cam Ward comes in at pick 7. Now, if you're in a Superflex league, Cam Ward probably goes top 3 picks, top 4 picks. Right now, non-Superflex, I have him at pick 7. There's not really any rushing upside here, so that's gonna. I don't see much rushing upside, especially, a lot of these guys. I mean, they're saying this projects him as 264 rushing yards. I'm not sure if we're gonna see that much from Cam Ward. We'll see, I guess. Young guy coming out. The really only major fantasy appeal would be if he is that dual threat runner. He does have some deep threats. He does have Calvin Ridley, who is a deep threat. He is pretty accurate. He's a pretty good arm. Like, his ceiling for me is Joe Burrow. That's obviously a high ceiling. That's obviously a huge comparison, huge stretch. I don't think he's going to be Joe Burrow, but that's kind of what I'm thinking he could be at his max potential. Receivers, he doesn't have Jamar Chase. He doesn't have T. Higgins. He has Calvin Ridley and then a couple 4th-round bums. Alik Iomana, who he will be in this video. Will he? He won't be in this video. He might be. We'll see. We'll see where we're going with the picks. But Cam Ward at number 7 seems fine. Number 8, Emeka Egbuka. Here we go. 22 years old and a good prospect profile as well. He is Ohio State's all-time reception leader. And he broke out after he replaced, who else? Jackson, Smith, and Jigba. Now, the problem with Emeka Egbuka is that the short-term outlook isn't as high as some of these other guys. The long-term, I think he can be a wide receiver 1. Now, he's behind Mike Evans. He's aging, and Mike Evans is the clear wide receiver 1. He'll be behind Chris Godwin, unless Chris Godwin doesn't progress from his injury in time. So Godwin and Evans, they're going to be out in a couple years, and Emeka Egbuka could take over this, Baker Mayfield-led offense. Baker Mayfield, he is slinging it, man. He's like Jameis Winston, but a better version. Now, they have him projected at only 660 receiving yards because of the fact he's got that competition on the depth chart. Pick number 9. Pick number 9 is Tyler Warren. Now, Tyler Warren probably doesn't go. He probably might not be available at this pick 9 spot. A lot of people might go in and they might overspend for him. I still love Tyler Warren as a player. He had passing touchdowns in his college career. He had a bunch of rushing touchdowns in his career. He had a lot of receiving yards against good competition. This guy's good. Now, his landing spot, it's not great. He's not going to have too much problem taking over as like the main receiver in his offense. You got Pittman, you got Downs. I think Tyler Warren's going to have a good opportunity to definitely take some target share. The problem is the passer, Richardson, sucks. Daniel Jones sucks. Who's passing the football? I don't know. Now, his projection for the year is 608 receiving yards and 4.2 receiving touchdowns. He's an exciting player. The landing spot has me concerned. Number 10, you get Caleb. Again, this is where there's another bit of a tier drop. So the top 9, I'm pretty happy with all of them. And then we have a bit of another tier starting here. Number 10, you pick Caleb Johnson. Caleb Johnson is the Najee Harris replacement. They take him in the 3rd round. They get the 4-year rookie contract. They have him projected at 850 rush yards and 166 receiving yards. The receiving role here is not as exciting. You got Jaylen Warren kind of as the receiving back in this Pittsburgh offense. So you're really only taking Caleb Johnson, expecting him to only get that receiving role if something were to happen to Jaylen Warren. So that's why it's not as exciting. RJ Harvey at number 11, and you might have to go RJ Harvey over Caleb Johnson. It's hard. I mean, RJ Harvey is actually rising. So RJ Harvey had a very good collegiate career. He doesn't have the same draft capital. That RJ Harvey was taken number 60 overall by the Broncos. The landing spot is exciting. Projected out for 851 rushing yards, so similar to Caleb Johnson, but 313 receiving yards. Who do the Broncos have? Javonte. He's gone. I mean, I don't even know. Maybe they have Estime. I haven't even checked their depth chart. RJ Harvey should be the immediate starter for this Denver Broncos offense. And the Broncos offense looked pretty solid last year. Now, the Broncos have the 31st. They have the 2nd hardest schedule in the league. So maybe that's good. Maybe if RJ Harvey gets a receiving role, that's good. If he is a rusher, he's screwed. You know what I'm saying? But I do think RJ Harvey, I mean, he could be a high-volume PPR threat, good PPR appeal. So RJ Harvey, you're excited about if you get him at the end of round 1. Final pick in round 1 is Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland, I'm excited about him here. The problem is, projected 550 receiving yards and 4.2 touchdowns. I think he could be a good receiving threat in the red zone for the Bears. A lot of target competition in that offense. A lot. How much can go around? Now we're starting off round 2. First pick of round 2, you get a wide receiver 1 for the Packers. Matthew Golden, he projects out as the wide receiver 1 on the Packers. He had a 4.29 40-yard dash. So the wide receiver room in Green Bay has a lot of question marks. Packers have a very hard schedule as well, 29th ranked schedule in terms of ease. So they're going to be airing it out. So I like the appeal there. If Jordan Love is healthy, I mean, Golden could be a solid fantasy addition. 6 receiving touchdowns projected out, 855 receiving yards. I think that this guy could be a wide receiver 1 in Green Bay, but he doesn't really project out as a high volume guy, more of a downfield threat. Pick number 2 in round 2, we're going to number 14, is Luther Burden, who already is missing practice with a soft tissue injury. You're joking. Really, buddy. But Luther Burden was selected 39th overall in the draft. People thought he might go round 1. I mean, this guy was a 5-star high school recruit, but hey, again, where's he going to be on the depth chart? You have DJ Moore, you have Odunze, you have Luther Burden, you have Colston Loveland. How much can go around? Bit concerning. Number 15, you have Trey Harris. I really love the value right here. I mean, your 3rd pick in round 2, and you're getting a wide receiver 2 with Justin Herbert. Now, Trey Harris, I mean, Ladd McConkey did have his breakout year. Trey Harris got the draft capital, number 55 overall in the draft. He had a very, very good final season in his college career. If he stays healthy, I mean, I think 100 targets in year 1 and 800 receiving yards is well within reach. And he's got high upside because if he can beat out Quentin Johnston, the big Q, you know, he's looking very solid in terms of his outlook, especially with Justin Herbert. A little bit older, 23 years old, kind of an older wide receiver prospect, but still has the appeal. Number 16, we go with Jaden Higgins. The Texans go ahead and take him number 34 in the draft, so a bit high. Tank Dell is probably going to miss all of the 25 season, if not most of it. Now, they do have Nico Collins as wide receiver 1. He's not getting past him. They did just get Christian Kirk, but they only signed Kirk to a 1-year deal. So Jaden Higgins should be on the field getting a lot of snaps, and the Texans have a very easy schedule, number 5th. 5th in terms of schedule ease. Now, there's also camp buzz. Jaden Higgins has been making big plays and showing he belongs at Texans rookie camp and OTAs. I think he's probably going to be the wide receiver 2 in this Texans offense. Now, they did also draft some other bum who we'll talk about here soon, but he projects out pretty good. I like him here in round 2. Jack Besh for the Raiders. Who are the Raiders receivers? I mean, you got Brock Bowers, but who else? Nobody. Jack Besh will play an immediate big role, an immediate starter for the Raiders with Geno Smith. Geno Smith made JSN a very good receiver last year in a bit of a breakout. Jack Besh projected out at 710 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. You know, the red zone, is he a big body type guy? 6'1", 214. He might not be getting as many red zone targets, but he'll be there getting immediate starting opportunity, which is why you take him right here at pick number 4. Pick number 5 now in round 2. Pick number 6, Jackson Dart. Again, Superflex. He might go a little bit higher, probably towards the end of round 1. The Giants traded up to get Dart late in the first round of this year's draft. Bit more rushing upside here. And we're pretty much expecting that Jackson Dart sits the entire rookie season behind Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. So that's not as exciting. But there is some good long-term appeal here with Dart. But it's kind of, it sucks taking a guy that you have to completely sit on. If you have a taxi spot, you throw him in on there. Number 19, you got Cam Scatterbo. Again, 23 years old. He's competing with Tyrone Tracy. So Scatterbo is a 4th-round draft pick. Tyrone Tracy, people are acting like Tyrone Tracy isn't going to have a receiving role. Tyrone Tracy was a receiver converted to running back. So if Tracy gets more receptions, I don't know how. I had Tracy in fantasy last year. The Giants did not know how to use him. And I also will say that Tyrone Tracy has some fumble issues. So Scatterbo could get a big role. He has a 3-down kind of skill set. The size is a bit of a concern for me, but I do think Scatterbo has long-term high potential. And at pick 19, you ain't looking bad. Kyle Williams at number 20. A bit of a riser. Pick 8 in round 2. Stephon Diggs, I don't want to get demonetized. Actually, I don't have any monetization anymore. But Kyle Williams, Stephon Diggs was doing that little pink sand. Let's just leave it at that. Stephon Diggs might get released. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. So Kyle Williams has the opportunity as well. He comes in after a breakout 2024 season at Washington State with 1,200 plus yards, 14 touchdowns, and he gets drafted to the Patriots with Drake May. So Stephon Diggs is coming off of a torn ACL. He's doing the pink sand. And the Patriots' number 2 receiver right now is Kayshon Boutte. So Kyle Williams, he's looking good to have a breakout first season. Next up, we got Jalen Noel, Texans receiver. They draft him right here. A bit under the radar, bit of a sleeper. He had a pretty good season at Iowa State with one of the worst quarterbacks. 3rd-round draft capital. I think the Texans might try to. There's a chance he ends up being the wide receiver 3 here in Houston. Next up, 22. We got 3 picks left in round 2. You go Bashal Tutin. The Jaguars' running back room is kind of all up in the air. You got ETN, you got Tank Bigsby, but who's going to be that true RB1? I don't know. Bashal Tutin has a pretty good running back prospect profile. He went 104 overall to the Jaguars. He projects out as getting some of the role. He projects out as 470 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 166 receiving yards. And depending on if if Travis Etienne gets traded, we could bump up Bashal Tutin even more. He could be competing with Tank Bigsby. Number 23, one of my favorite values right now is Jadon Blue. If the Cowboys stick to their word and don't sign Nick Chubb, don't sign J.K. Dobbins, it's Jadon Blue and Javonte Williams as the starting running backs. Jadon Blue was taking reps as a kickoff returner as well as Cowboys ETAs, which isn't great because that probably means that Javonte is probably going to be the RB1, but Blue fell to the 5th round of the draft because of the deep running back class. But Jadon Blue, he could come in and be the starter on the Cowboys offense. Cowboys have a good quarterback. They now have a really good receiving core. So he's going to be competing for an immediate role with Javonte. So I think Javonte Williams and Jadon Blue, both bump them up your draft board. But since you get Jadon Blue right here at the end of round 2, don't mind if I do. The final pick of round 2. This one's hard because you guys aren't going to see the next couple picks outside of round 2. But I have Mason Taylor. This is where I have a bit of a run on the next couple of tight ends. The buzz from camp is that Mason Taylor looks good, that Mason Taylor is going to have a big role, that Mason Taylor is going to be the starting tight end. Conklin's gone. So, if Justin Fields builds a rapport with Mason Taylor, kind of the sky is the limit. So, he projects out pretty nice and pretty damn good. He ran a 4.68 40-yard dash. I think Mason Taylor could be one of the better tight ends here, but also just, fair warning, the next couple picks would have been Elijah Arroyo. You have Harold Fannin Jr., so a bit of a run on tight end to round out round 2, start out round 3. That is my rookie mock draft, first 2 rounds. Let me know what you think down below, man. We can go, and we can do rounds 3, rounds 4, rounds 5, sleepers. Because my Dynasty draft, I had a lot. I didn't have a pick in round 1 or round 2. And I had like 3 or 4 picks in round 3 and round 4. So, I went and I got a lot of sleepers. Let me know if you want to see that video up next. Thanks for watching. Peace.